You confess lust. You admit anger. You cry over pride. But greed? You don't even see it. Because greed is the sin that hides in success. It camouflages itself in good intentions. It whispers, "I'm just being responsible," while your heart quietly starts worshiping what I gave, instead of the one who gave it. You think greed is only about rich people. But no. Greed shows up in both the mansion and the slum. It lives in the boss with 10 million, and the boy who won't share his crumbs. Greed isn't about how much you have. It's about how tightly you cling to it. It's not about owning money. It's about money owning you. I said be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Why? Because it's sneaky, it's deadly, and it grows silently until it chokes out everything spiritual in you. It'll convince you to take credit for what I gave. It'll push you to want more, even when I've given you enough. It'll blind you to your neighbor while you build a bigger house to impress strangers. It'll have you chasing a full bank account with an empty soul. You ask me for provision, but what if I've already given it, and you just called it not enough? What if your obsession with more is the very thing that's keeping you from me? Listen to me. I am not against your increase. I am against anything that takes my place. And greed has taken my place in too many hearts. So today, we're going to rip it up by the roots. Not gently, not slowly, not politely, but fully. Because the life I have for you isn't found in getting more. It's found in letting go. The moment you stop thanking me is the moment your heart opens the door to greed. You used to be grateful. Remember, you praised me for small things. You saw my hand in every meal, every gift, every breath. But now you scroll past blessings. You compare. You crave. You count what you don't have instead of what you do. That's where greed begins. It's not loud at first. It starts with a sigh when someone else gets what you prayed for. It starts with envy when your neighbor prospers. It starts with discontentment, masked as motivation. You think it's drive, but it's hunger for what I never told you to chase. Eve had everything. Everything. Yet the serpent made her feel like it wasn't enough. That's what greed does. It takes abundance and makes it feel like lack. It blinds you to the garden and focuses you on the one tree I told you not to touch. And you wonder why you're anxious. You wonder why peace escapes you. You wonder why no amount of success ever feels like enough. Because when gratitude dies, greed takes the throne. But it doesn't have to rule you. You can dethrone it with praise. Thank me again. Not just for what I've given, but for what I didn't. Not just for open doors, but for closed ones that protected you. Because where gratitude lives, greed dies. You say, I'm just being wise. I'm just saving for the future. I'm just preparing. But I see the truth. You're hoarding out of fear, not stewarding out of faith. There's a difference. Wisdom trusts me. Hoarding replaces me. Remember the man who tore down his barns to build bigger ones? He said to himself, "You have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy. Eat, drink, and be merry." But I said, "You fool. This very night your life will be demanded from you." He planned for years, but forgot about eternity. He stored riches, but was bankrupt in spirit. And when his time came, he had treasure on earth, but nothing in heaven. Do you think that story doesn't apply to you? You check your savings more than you check your soul. You prepare for retirement more than you prepare for judgment. You count every coin, but not the cost of putting your security where moth and rust destroy. I'm not against saving. I'm against obsession. I'm against the kind of planning that removes me from the process. Because some of you aren't storing for storms. You're stockpiling out of panic. You've built emotional bunkers to protect yourself from trusting me again. You don't call it greed. You call it just in case. But tell me, just in case what? Just in case I don't come through. Just in case my promises fail. Just in case you have to take care of yourself. Because you don't believe I will? That's not wisdom. That's fear, baptized in logic. You want to be wise? Obey me. You want to be secure? Trust me. Because one day, everything you've stored will be left behind. But what you gave in faith will meet you in eternity. Greed doesn't always look like cash. Sometimes, it looks like needing the last word. Sometimes it looks like holding the steering wheel of your life with white-knuckled fists. You think you want wealth, but what you really want is control. You want to feel untouchable, independent, powerful. You want enough resources so you don't need to ask me. Enough connections so you don't have to pray. Enough comfort so you never have to rely on faith again. But that's not freedom. That's a prison built with gold bars. Greed promises control, but it delivers chains. It says if you just had a little more, you could finally rest. But rest never comes. Because greed always moves the finish line. Listen to me. Peace isn't found in power. It's found in presence. My presence. You can control your environment, your image, your income, but can you control the storms? Can you stop the clock from ticking? Can you protect your soul from the day I call you home? You can't, but I can. So why do you trust your systems more than you trust my spirit? You chase control, thinking it will protect you, but it's robbing you of joy, of peace, of surrender. Let go. Before everything you built without me collapses in front of you. I never asked you to run the world. I asked you to walk with me in faith. You're so busy chasing more. You don't even see who's hurting beside you. Greed doesn't just corrupt your heart. It distorts your vision. You can walk past the hungry with a full cart. Scroll past the broken while building your brand. Sleep in luxury while your neighbor prays for bread. And somehow, you don't even feel it. You've normalized selfishness. You've baptized self-preservation. You've made comfort your God and called it God's favor. But let me ask you something. When did I bless you just so you could bless yourself? When did I pour out more so you could ignore those with less? When did the gospel become about gated communities and not open hands? You prayed for increase. I gave it. But did you ask what it was for? Because what I gave you wasn't just for your table. It was for the table you were called to set for others. Look around. Do you see the widow who's choosing between medicine and food? Do you see the single mother crying in silence? Do you see the child who doesn't know what love looks like? Or are you too busy stacking treasures that will burn? The rich man ignored Lazarus outside his gate and found himself in torment. Not because he was rich, but because he was blind. Don't let that be your story. You're not called to be a reservoir. You're called to be a river. And if you keep holding back what I gave to flow through you, eventually that water turns stagnant. And stagnant water stinks. You want joy? Give. You want purpose? Pour out. You want me? Find me in the least of these. Because what you do to them, you do to me. You grip it tighter. You guard it harder. You call it mine. But I never told you to own it. I told you to steward it. And here's the truth. The tighter you hold on to something, the faster it slips through your fingers. You say, I earned this. But who gave you breath to wake up? Who gave you strength to work? Who protected your mind when others lost theirs? I did. And yet you act like I'm not trustworthy with what already belongs to me. Do you think you're safer holding it than I am managing it? You cling to position, to people, to possessions. But if you're not careful, what you cling to will become what crushes you. I can bless open hands, but clenched fists, they block my provision. They resist my pruning. They reject my presence. You keep praying for more, but I'm waiting for release. Because sometimes I won't give you more. Not until I see you can let go of what you already have. Remember the rich young ruler? He followed the rules. He looked holy, but when I told him to let go, he walked away sad. Why? Because greed had his heart, not me. Listen closely. Whatever you refuse to surrender is your real God. And if you won't lay it down, it will weigh you down. So open your hands before I have to pry them open. You don't call it idolatry, but I do. Because what you serve, chase, and trust more than me is your God. And for many of you, that God's name is more. More money, more success, more applause, more likes, more upgrades, more just in case. But here's the problem. More never satisfies. It's a God that always demands, but never delivers. You reach one level, and it whispers, "That's not enough." You get the promotion, and it murmurs, "You need the next one." You fill your house, your closet, your schedule, and your soul is still empty. Why? Because you weren't created to worship accumulation. You were created to worship me. Greed tells you, if I just had more, I'd be secure. But I already told you, I am your refuge. Greed tells you, if I just had more, I'd finally be enough. But I already said, you are complete in Christ, not in things. You pray for breakthrough, but you're still bowing at the altar of excess. You want me to bless you, but you're serving a rival kingdom. And I'm a jealous God. I won't compete with your idols. I won't bless what's replacing me. I won't pour my spirit into a heart already full of self. So ask yourself, is it me you want, or just more of what you think you need? Because I will give you peace, purpose, joy, and provision. But I will never share my throne. Tear down that altar, smash that idol, and come back to me. You keep asking for increase, but what are you doing with what I already gave? I didn't bless you so you could build walls. I blessed you to build bridges. I didn't give you overflow so you could fill barns. I gave it so you could fill hands. But somewhere along the way, you confused ownership with assignment. You thought it was yours. You thought your promotion, your success, your favor was the finish line. But it was the starting point to bless others. Abraham wasn't just blessed, he was a blessing. Joseph wasn't just elevated, he was elevated to rescue others. Esther didn't get favor to enjoy the palace, she got it to risk everything for her people. So what about you? You keep asking for more income, but are you using your current income to change lives? You ask me for financial freedom, but are you freeing anyone else? You are not a vault. You are a vessel. And if I can't move through you, I won't keep pouring into you. Because a closed hand limits the flow. And I never called you to store up treasures for yourself. I called you to release my goodness into the world. That single mother, she was your assignment. That struggling friend, your opportunity. That ministry in need, your responsibility. Don't pray for the world to change, and then hoard what I gave you to change it. I didn't fill your cup so you could admire it. I filled it so it could overflow. So stop banking what was meant to be sown. Start giving, like you know, it was never yours to keep. You used to own it. Now, it owns you. You bought the car, but now you can't sleep because of the payments. You built the business, but now you can't rest without checking the numbers. You chased the image, and now you're a prisoner to the mask you created. That's what greed does. It offers freedom, then hands you chains. It promises joy, then delivers anxiety. It starts as a blessing, but becomes a burden when you try to make it your identity. I gave you the house, but now the house owns your peace. I gave you the platform, but now you serve the algorithm instead of my spirit. I gave you influence, but now you fear people more than you fear me. Stop calling slavery success. You think you're in control, but the truth is, you're addicted to maintaining the life that was supposed to glorify me. That's the danger of greed. It doesn't just take your money, it takes your rest, your joy, your focus, your obedience. You say, it's just for a season, but how many seasons have passed? How many years have you chased just a little more, while your soul shrinks in silence? My child, what's the point of gaining the whole world and losing your soul? I didn't give you these things to crush you. I gave them to bless you, but you turned them into gods. And here's the truth. I will tear down anything that steals your worship, not because I hate you, but because I love you too much to let idols live in your heart. So ask yourself, what do you own that's really owning you? If you can't let it go, it's already taken too much. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not against you having wealth. I'm against wealth having you. Abraham was wealthy, and I called him friend. David was a king, and I said he had a heart like mine. Job was rich, and I bragged about his righteousness. So don't twist my words. Wealth isn't the problem. Worshipping it is. The issue is not your bank account, it's your heart. When your identity is in the number, when your security is in the savings, when your joy rises and falls with your income, then your heart belongs to your treasure, not to me. I said it plainly. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So where's your treasure? Would you still praise me if the account went to zero? Would you still trust me if the deal fell through? Would you still follow me if the lifestyle faded? Or would you walk away like the rich young ruler, sad, because I asked for your idol? I'm not asking you to live poor. I'm asking you to live pure. Pure in motive, pure in trust, pure in devotion. You can have wealth, but it can't have you. You can build business, but I must remain your foundation. You can enjoy the fruit, but don't forget the giver of the seed. Because when I bless you, it's not just for comfort, it's for kingdom. I gave you influence to impact. I gave you profit to provide. I gave you favor to glorify me. So go ahead, prosper. Just don't bow. You want to kill greed? Give, not once, not occasionally, not when it's convenient. Give like you know it's war. Give like your soul depends on it, because it does. Greed can't survive in the heart of a giver. Every time you give, greed loses its grip. Every time you release, chains start to break. Every time you pour out, you make room for me to pour in. This is why I said, it is more blessed to give than to receive, because giving doesn't just bless others, it frees you. You were never meant to live clenched. You were created to live open. I gave you my son. I gave you breath. I gave you grace when you deserved judgment. So why are you afraid to give? You think you'll run out? I am the source. You think you won't have enough? I am El Shaddai, the God of more than enough. When you give, you're not losing. You're sowing. You're planting seeds into eternal ground. And I promise, no seed given in faith will ever go unnoticed. So loosen your grip. Loosen your pride. Loosen your fear of lack. Because the more you give, the more alive you become. Greed shrinks your world. Generosity expands it. And you will never know true joy until you learn how to let go. Greed won't knock on your door wearing a crown. It'll whisper in your thoughts. It'll disguise itself as responsibility, ambition, security, and wisdom. But behind it all, it's still death. It kills joy. It strangles faith. It suffocates love. It blinds you to eternity. You keep thinking you have time. Time to change. Time to give. Time to obey. But time isn't yours. It's mine. And I won't wait forever. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot cling to me and chase what's killing your soul. You cannot walk the narrow road while dragging your treasure behind you. So choose, today, let go of what you can't keep, to take hold of what you can't lose. Stop worshiping the gift. Come back to the giver. Because when your hands are finally empty, that's when I can fill them. I am your portion. I am your provider. I am your peace. And I will not compete with greed for your heart. Lay it down before it's too late.